Hey everyone, this is Tyler Berry back for another TLA whiteboard session. Today we're going to go over domestic hot water heating heat pump applications, specifically as it's related to the piping configuration that is required for the load profile of a building. Now, in every instance, there's usually a multi-pass or single-pass configuration of the piping as it's related to the storage tanks and the heat pump water heating devices. Now, we're used to multi-pass for a lot of reasons. That's how we traditionally piped gas-fired or fuel-fired gas water heaters as it's related to the storage tanks themselves in parallel. What we end up doing is recharging the storage tank in multiple passes, and we have a high flow, low delta situation. This is still commonly used in stadium applications or barracks where you have a high peak demand that's all at one time, where you actually need that volume of water and you have some time to recharge afterwards. In a single pass configuration, what we have adapted is that we have basically two separate control loops and two separate loops or temperature profiles to satisfy. We have our two primary storage tanks here that are associated with the two domestic hot water heat pumps. These flow water in a single pass and push through the primary storage tanks, but then also push through this swing tank. This swing tank could be just a simple electric resistive 119 gallon storage tank with 20 kW worth of electric heat. What this is intended to do is satisfy the recirc losses of the system when the system is idle or in between load profiles or swings in temperature. What this does is optimizes the efficiency of the domestic water heat pumps while also reducing the cycling of the heat pumps themselves as we satisfy the load, because we have our recirc losses coming back to the swing tank and not being satisfied by the complete loop itself. Now, one thing to keep in mind that the difference between multi-pass and single pass in terms of application has very much to do with the building itself, and not just the fixtures and the fixture unit count, but actually the application of the people inside the building. Because just because you have a peak of 1,000 gallons per hour, maybe it's occurring once a day, maybe it's occurring twice a day, maybe you have another semi-simultaneous peak 3 hours behind it that's 800 gallons per hour. And these things will dictate whether you need multi-pass or single pass. Now, when we work with nylon domestic water heat pumps, we go through all of these variables and we take a calculated look at not only just the fixtures, but the use of the building, the application of the building, and map out the proper profile that matches single pass and multi-pass, and maybe we evaluate both. And both will have an influence on the tank size and the amount of heat pump water heaters we need. But these are careful calculations. It's just something to keep in mind, and a good review of the piping configuration between multi-pass and single pass. Thanks again.